and I am glad to be your minister. It was good to see a dozen of us at the Interfaith Harmony Week opening ceremony yesterday, along with maybe 200 other people. In a sense, every week is Interfaith Week here at UUCH. We have Buddhist UUs, pagan UUs, humanist UUs, Christian UUs, and more. So we benefit from doing deep dives into our own tradition. We benefit from cross-pollinating with other traditions and developing our common traditions. So it is good to be together. And a special welcome to any visitors who are here as part of Interfaith Harmony Week. If you're a visitor and you would like to say hello and a word or two about your background or what brought you here, you're welcome to do that now. And we're also an introvert-friendly space, so it's totally fine to pass. But would anyone who's new would like to introduce themselves? Would you like to?
My name is Michael. I should have been here.
Could you wait for the mic so that the people on Zoom can hear you?
Hi.
And it's yellow light off. Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, that's right.
My name is Michael. I should have been here 40 years ago. I missed a lot of time with you.
Wow.
I am here for the very first time, and maybe there'll be a second time, because, it's Groundhog Day.
Would you excuse me if I just sit down here right now?
That's fine.
Yeah, I have a little mobility problem. So my name is John Van Adlema, and this is my daughter, Jennifer. I am from the Olinda Unitarian Universalist Church. Pardon me?
Olinda
Oh,
is
that's
an
in
hour.
southern Ontario, near Windsor area there. And it was the first Universalist church in Canada, and it's kept its tradition. They have their own church and all that, and they have had, that like every church, or certainly every Unitarian church, their ups and their downs, and I was there fortunately, and there still. In an upbeat, they just put a new roof on the building. So anyway, fundraising and all that. So anyway, I know one of your former interim ministers here, and I'm at a loss for a name right now. Fran, yeah. Yeah, Fran Dearman, yes. Fran Dearman helped us find, over 2 years, a new minister, and it worked out very well. Unfortunately, he was killed in a car accident last year at one time, and so they had now been searching for a new one, and that may happen one of these days, we hope. So anyway, hello everybody, glad to be here.
Welcome you, Michael and John.
Thanks, Scott. Please see the announcements in order of service, and note that after service, Mary Frances Lynch is serving up a tea blend. It is a blend of winter and summer. It'll be good. And we'll also have coffee as usual. We are going to have a different hot drink after service every Sunday in February. And Mary Frances. Yes. And Mary Frances and I are leading a discussion of UU parenting after the service today. Because she had that question, what does UU parenting mean to you? So we'll really have an open discussion of how we want to raise our kids. Thank you to our volunteers and staff who make our Sunday services possible. So Mary Lou McDonald is our service assistant today. We have Riley Friesen on tech, Tristan Kelly on keys, Kath Anthony helping out with setup and more. Coffee is often put on by Riley. It was Kath today. It was also wonderful to hear the pickup choir and after choir sing yesterday at the Interfaith opening ceremony. Really beautiful. Amy, are you prepared to come straight up here to do the land and climate acknowledgement, or would you like me to do it? You're going to do it? Great. Thank you.
collaboratively move towards truth, reconciliation, and equity for the Indigenous, Black, and other communities of color who continue to experience systemic oppression in our communities.
Thank you, Amy, for the purple beret.
And
Raspberry beret.
and we also acknowledge the climate emergency and that we have a fabulous group leading us in concrete things we can do about it.
Chalice lighting.
Chalice lighting. Thank you, Meredith. Please.
Maybe we'll have chalice lighting.
It's a challenge.
In the cold of winter, we gathered to light fires for warmth. Today we light this chalice to warm our spirits, to kindle the flame of love and hope.
I'm 27 years old, and this is before you could stream movies online. The local video store has shelves and shelves of independent films, and it has a deal. 3 movies for 4 days for $5. So I watch the 3 movies over the 4 days, then I get 3 more movies. And I do this for a whole year. So not much of a social life, but these movies are windows into different ways of living. Hold on, I will make space for Barbara. So all these movies are windows into different ways of living. I'm also dealing with a health issue. I've got too much tension in my body, so I stretch my body for an hour every day while watching the movies. And I'm sure I would not have kept stretching if not for those movies. A friend visits me for the weekend. I skip the movies, but towards the end of the visit, I do some stretching. She says, "What you're doing is yoga. It's bad yoga, but it's yoga." So I decide to up my game. Soon I'm attending power yoga classes 6 days a week for 90 minutes. A classmate in my yoga class invites me to something called a contact improv jam, which is this quirky type of dance. I fall in love with this dance, give away almost all my possessions, and move to a retreat center for improv dance. A person named Ian walks through the door. We are immediately kindred spirits. In addition to improv dance, we both love improv comedy, and there's not as much overlap as you might think. We were both part of the same musical theater group in Waterloo, but 10 years apart. We never met each other. We were both math nerds, interested in internet freedom and decentralized networks. So what are the odds that I would meet Ian? A chain of several unlikely events made it happen. But as I got to know him, I realized all paths lead to Ian. We would have met at the musical theater reunion. We would have met at an internet conference, an internet freedom conference. We would have met at a folk festival. No matter how many times I got to live my life, no matter how many ways, what choices I made, I would have met Ian. And through him, there is a clear pathway to meeting my wife, Tanya. Please rise in body or spirit for our opening hymn. It's number 298 in the gray hymnal, 298, Wake Now My Senses. The lyrics are going up on the screens. And I'll grab hymnals if you don't have one.
In our communal gatherings, we take time to acknowledge the many joys, sorrows, and complex truths of our individual lives. Joys shared lift us all. Sorrows shared comfort the sorrowful. And complex truths can often be examined by stating them out loud in a loving community. If you have a joy, sorrow, or complex truth that you wish to share this morning, please come forward to drop a stone into our well of community. If you prefer, raise your hand, and I or someone else will bring you the microphone and place the stone for you.
Who wants to go first? I will. happy to say I've moved back to Halifax. Yes, I'm living at Northwood. I have independent living. Well, I am 65 years old. I know I don't look that way, but yes, oil of old age. Anyway, I'm back in town and I'm probably going to come garden here.
Welcome back.
So a week ago Friday, I found myself in emergency. I had to put out my back and was by myself, and I couldn't walk, and I was taken such good care of. They were so busy. If I weren't a more stalwart personality, I would have been a bit frightened. There were some difficult people in the waiting area that were causing mild scenes. And just a couple of days after I was there and I received such good care, there was an event at that emergency. And there was 3 people stabbed by somebody that was making a scene, like somebody was making a scene. And my compassion is with all of the people who work there, but also for the people that aren't getting the mental health care that they need, that end up doing things like that. So my stone, I'm going to put 2 stones in, one for the people that work there and one for the people that need help.
A stone for my friend Elias, whose mother had survived all kinds of things, the war in Beirut, Lebanon, and such, and last week was killed by a freak car accident.
And one more stone for all the joys and sorrows that we've been reflecting on as we listen. The meditation hymn, you will be able to sit. We will sing it 3 times through. Number 1011, Return Again.
Return again, return to
give to our community in various ways according to our abilities and talents. Taking up the offering on Sundays is symbolic of the many ways we contribute. You can also send a check to treasurer@uuch.ca or by mail to our street address. Today's plate collection will be allocated to the general fund.
May I ask something? Do you have an envelope so I can put my name on it? Yes. Okay, thank you.
We have an offertory hymn, number 318, We Would Be One, and you only have to sing it once through.
If you want to stay after service, we can sing it multiple times. Has anyone seen the television show Being Erica? You got 1, 2, 3, okay, 4. So a woman, Erica, she gets dumped and loses her job on the same day. At her mom's place, her family expresses concern for her in a way that makes her sneak out a window and run. And as she does that, the show's theme song comes on, Where Does the Good Go, by Tegan and Sarah. In her pocket, Erica finds a business card of a mysterious therapist, Dr. Tom, and she decides, given the state of her life, to give him a chance. Erica says to Dr. Tom, things were not supposed to be this way. I always thought I'd grow up, have a great career, great partner, amazing life. Dr. Tom asks, what happened? I blew it. I had everything going for me and I screwed it up. How? Bad choices. many things I would have done differently. Like what? Asks Dr. Tom. What are they, these bad choices, these regrets of yours? Well, like I said, there's a whole bunch. Would you like me to pick one? You know what? Why don't you write them down, just in point form? So she writes down her regrets in point form, understood only by her. The sugar shack, body language, getting Katie fired, her high school formal. And after a long list, she finally writes, when Leo died. Erica says there's more, of course, but those are the ones that keep me up at night. And she hands him the list. She says, let's start with your high school formal. She says, why do I suddenly feel so cold? And it's because her soul has started time traveling back to her high school formal. So this therapist is actually a time traveling therapist. So every episode, Erica travels back in time to have a second chance at life. The show is a bit silly, but it was created by someone who majored in religion at McGill. So under the silliness, there are themes of regret, of fate, letting go, forgiveness, transformation. The creator of the show is also a writer on Degrassi, The Next Generation. So the show's got the realness of Degrassi, if you watch that. The fullness of the human experience, no topic out of bounds. We make choices in life. Some of those are bad choices. We're only human after all. Some of those are risky choices. Pardon me on my French, pardon my risky choice, but we fuck around and we find out. Sometimes we make good choices, but life gets in the way anyway. Life does not have a scoreboard. It's not like when you play online chess and you've got that option where you get immediate feedback on your moves. You know, you left your rook undefended, you missed an opportunity to sacrifice your queen. Immediate feedback so that you can analyze your choices and do better next time. And that hooked me on online chess. I love immediate feedback with chance to start fresh and do it all over again. So as Alanis Morissette used to say, you live, you learn, you choose, you learn. I love that. But in real life, the feedback is often slower. Recently, I spoke with a parent who raised her kids to make their own choices. A big part of parenting is about raising kids to make more and more of their own choices, but she empowered her kids at a very young age. Things went great. Kid was always active, always engaged, always learning. But one day she said to her kid, I need you to come with me to such and such an event. And the kid just said no. So it became aggravating, these daily battles when she just wanted a little compromise, a little collaboration. After years of running this empowerment experiment, she said, if I was going to do it again, I would have taught him at a young age the importance of sometimes meeting other people's needs. So it's tempting to look back and think if only I had done things differently. If only I'd spoken more boldly or more honestly. If only I'd been a better listener or a more curious neighbor. If only I had not said that thing I said, or worn that thing, or gone to that thing, whatever it was. There was a period in my life where I thought it was amusing to drink too much and throw up. So this shy kid was letting loose, and how fun was that? But it impacted my health. And sometimes I imagine how differently my 20s would have been if I had been able to think straight. So it's tempting to wonder, what if I'd done things differently? I'd be so good at life if I got a second chance. In the TV show Being Erica, Erica gets a second chance. She travels back in time to her high school formal. She's not going to do the embarrassing thing that has tormented her for years. She's not going to miss the chance to do the romantic thing with her crush that she missed out. Missing out has tormented her for years. So So Erica goes back in time, makes different choices, and embarrasses herself again in a whole new way. She does not fix anything. She finds a different way to screw up and to get laughed at. So she says to Dr. Tom, that did not help. Dr. Tom says it wasn't about changing your past. It was about helping you realize, for her the lesson was, people are always going to judge you, so you shouldn't care as much what other people think. If you want the fuller story to that, the pilot episode, this episode is free on YouTube. Being Erica. So every episode she goes back in time to face a different regret. She gets a second chance and nothing ever gets better. All she does is get wiser. She learns to let go of regret. Without feeling regretful, sometimes I do like to imagine, what if I had made different choices? And this is a good day to do that. What would be the same in my life, and what would be different? Is it true that all paths lead to Ian? If you recall from my opening story. Ian and I had so much in common, it was inevitable that we would meet. I could have made a lot of bad choices in my life, still would have met Ian. What a relief that I could mostly waste a year watching movies, and still my life will lead to Ian. Is it true that whatever choice you make, you will meet Ian? Does the arc of the social universe really bend towards Ian? And it depends what your Ian is. Would your conscience still have lit up if you had made a different choice at age 10? Or might you have become kind of a little selfish and a little mean? That conscience shining bright in you, how is that part of your nature, and how much is that just dependent on your life's path? Your love for cooking and games nights, could that instead have been your love for archery and fasting? Or are you a chef in every timeline? If you look at the universe with a scientific mind, you accept that there is some amount of randomness in how things play out. Fate does not hold the reins. We're not in control of whether the sun will rise tomorrow. Shubenacadie Sam is in charge of that. He is a tad whimsical. Yeah, we're not in control of some things. I've been talking about life in the personal realm, and let's switch to the political realm. Because big things going on. There are things happening now where I wish we had a second chance. Not sure there's a path through the culture wars that could have led to a better outcome than we are looking at today. Maybe I could have been more assertive here, more compassionate here, compromise more here, more coalition building here. Sometimes dream that I could be a part of helping to solve the culture wars. It would be so much easier to do that if we got some do-overs. So kind of like a video game, like maybe Super Mario Bros. You know, the first time you play, you don't last 5 seconds. After 50 attempts, you exceed at the most basic level, go on to level 2. After a few thousand attempts, you whiz past obstacles and threats, you defeat the final boss. So imagine in real life getting to live the past 10 years over and over like a video game until you could defeat the final boss, pre-release the vaccine, solve the culture wars, and all while growing this kids program we have to 1,000 kids. I think we could do it with enough second chances. But how do we win the political realm if we only get one shot? How do we turn the culture wars into a game that actually can be won when every effort seems to create a backlash? We can generate second chances, I think, by choosing small, winnable goals that we can keep trying at. So for example, can I develop rapport with someone who disagrees with me? Try that 20 times. Can I make them feel heard? Try that 20 times. Can I say my point of view in a way that they hear? Try that 20 times. Can Can I build a coalition with two people who agree with me about some things but not other things? Try that 20 times. Can I expand the coalition to 5 people and then more to keep trying and trying again? I wish there was a shortcut to winning the culture wars, but I don't think there is. How do we make the world a better place? I heard an entrepreneur say, do helpful things that with people you like, and because you're doing that, because you like that, you just want to keep trying again and again and again. That brings us to Groundhog Day, a movie that is still alive in many of our hearts. In Groundhog Day, Bill Murray wakes up in the morning and goes to see if the groundhog can see his shadow. Then Bill has breakfast at this quaint local diner. Everyone is way too cheerful and down to earth, which he hates. He's way too cynical for that. He wants to get back to his big ambitions in the big city. But a storm keeps him in town, so this is his life for the rest of the day. He wakes up the next morning, and it is still Groundhog Day. It dawns on him that he is living the same day again. So that's the setup of the movie. He really relives the same day over and over. He tells this to his coworker Rita, but she doesn't believe him. So he's left alone, feeling confused and agitated. And then the next day, same thing, still Groundhog Day. Bill Murray becoming more cynical than ever. And the screenwriter who created this movie, Danny Rubin, started with this idea of reliving the same day over and over, and he imagined what that would do to a person. There might be stages of gluttony, boredom, loneliness, despair, stages of ego. And then, one day, he helped someone cross the street. He'd seen her try day after day, he decided to help out. Even though he's stuck living the same day over and over, it feels good to do the exact same thing every day, help this person cross the street. He changes someone's tire. He provides couples counseling. He learns exactly what every person needs, and he fills his day with good deeds. Eventually, he gets so good at it that by evening, the whole town is dancing joyfully together in community. So on Groundhog Day, Bill Murray learns to spend his day helping others and creating community. Even in a small town where nothing changes, there is an abundance of opportunity if you have enough chances. Some of us are helpers. It's who we are. We can't help it. We help. No matter what happens in life, we will show up and help. And it is fun to imagine taking that to the next level. How could we live our day so that at the end of the day, everyone on our street is dancing together? After Groundhog Day was released, the screenwriter, Danny Rubin, he got fan mail. He got fan mail from a Christian monk in Germany. The movie was, quote, a perfect articulation of his Christian beliefs. Rubin got fan mail from a young couple who were Jewish mystics, convinced that he too must be a Jewish mystic. A Buddhist convention proclaimed that Groundhog Day was the best Buddhist movie ever. So in honor of Interfaith Harmony Week, let's create our own Groundhog Day. Every day, in your home, in your streets, in this congregation, throughout Halifax and beyond. No matter where we are in life, every moment is a second chance. Thank you. Yeah. So please rise in body or spirit for our closing hymn. It's number 1064 in the Teal hymnal. Blue Boat Home, I think it's one of our favorites, so I thought we'd do it for hosting Interfaith Harmony Week. The lyrics are going up on the screen. carry with us the warmth of compassion, the glow of love, fire of commitments, and the light of truth. Thank you so much for coming. The UU parenting discussion starts here at 11:45 with babysitting in the ballroom. Right now, Mary Francis's tea blend is available through the back doors as well as coffee. Special thank you to our interfaith visitors. Our service is over.